Hello students, in this session we are going to see the practical simultaneous estimation by UV spectroscopy, that is simultaneous estimation of the drugs paracetamol and ibuprofen with the help of UV spectroscopy. It is one of the practicals under instrumental methods of analysis. So first of all, let us see what is spectroscopy. Spectroscopy is the measurement and interpretation of electromagnetic radiation absorbed or emitted when the molecules, atoms or ions of a sample move from one energy state to another energy state. Whenever a light radiation is incident on any sample solution, the sample can interact with the light. It can either absorb some of the intensity of light, it can reflect it, or it can transmit it. So based all these interactions can be studied with the help of spectroscopy. So UV spectroscopy is a type of spectroscopy wherein the absorption of the light in the UV region, that is 200 to 400 nanometer, is absorbed by the molecule, which results in excitation of electrons from the ground state to higher energy state. That is, on absorbing the energy in this range or the radiation in this range, the electrons excite from the ground state, that is zero energy level, to the higher energy state. So what is principle of UV spectroscopy? As the light is absorbed by the matter, the result is an increase in energy content of the atoms or molecules. So when ultraviolet radiations are absorbed, it results in excitation of the electrons from ground state towards a higher energy state. Molecules containing pi electrons or non-bonding electrons, which are represented as N, they can absorb energy in the form of UV light to excite these electrons to the higher anti-bonding molecular orbitals. The more easily excited the electron, the longer the wavelength of light it can absorb. So you can see basically UV spectroscopy is a molecular spectroscopy. Four types of transitions are possible, as you can see in the diagram. Pi to pi star, that is bonding pi to anti-bonding pi. Next is N to pi star, that is non-bonding orbital to anti-bonding pi. Then sigma to sigma star, that is bonding sigma to anti-bonding sigma, and N to sigma star, that is non-bonding to anti-bonding sigma. They can be ordered, that is the energy required for each transition. You can see sigma to sigma star requires higher energy as compared to N to sigma star, which again requires higher energy as compared to pi to pi star, which requires higher energy as compared to N to pi star. So maximum energy is needed for the transition from sigma to sigma star, and the least amount of energy is required for transition from N to pi star. The absorption of UV light by a chemical compound will produce a distinct spectrum which aids in the identification of the compound. That is, each and every compound reacts in a different manner with UV light. The absorption is different and the transition from one orbital to another is different. So based on this, all the drugs will produce different spectra. So with the help of spectra, we can identify the compound. So let us see the instrumentation. Light source followed by the entrance slit. Entrance slit will allow the light to enter. Then it passes through the dispersion device and then exit slit. So here you can see dispersion device. It generally acts as a monochromator. That is, it converts the polychromatic light into the monochromatic light. Then it passes through the sample cell. So here you can see the rectangular shaped sample cell, cylindrical shaped. It is generally known as cuvette. And then the light passes through the detector. So light sources which can be used are tungsten filament lamps and hydrogen deuterium lamps. Now these light sources, they cover the whole ultraviolet region. so they are most widely used. Monochromator is generally composed of prisms and slits. Grating monochromators can also be used. So monochromator, it converts polychromatic light into the monochromatic light. Next is the sample and reference cell. So there are always two cells, one for containing the reference standard and another one for sample. The light beam is divided into the two halves. One passes through the sample solution and second passes through the reference solution. Now the reference solution is very important because it is used to do the baseline correction, or you can say auto zero, that is to remove the effects of the solvent. Both the sample and reference solution are contained in the cell. These are generally known as cuvettes. So they are made up of either silica or quartz. Glass cannot be used for the cells as it absorbs the light in the UV region. Now, when we are dealing with the ultraviolet spectroscopy, UV spectroscopy, we will require the light which has the wavelength corresponding to UV region. So obviously the sample cells must allow the light in the UV region to pass through. So glass is opaque to the UV region, that is, it will not allow the ultraviolet rays to pass through the sample. So we need to use the material which is transparent to UV region. So silica or quartz are generally used. So you can here see the sample cells. They are generally referred as cuvettes. You can see the cuvette, how they look. So Q represents the quartz, that is, that surface is made up of quartz. Other two surfaces you can see they are rugged. So rugged surface are used to handle the cuvettes. We should never handle the cuvette with the quartz surface because as UV is sensitive, even the fingerprint can cause variation in the readings. So always handle the cuvette with rugged surface, and we have to place the cuvette in such a manner that only the quartz surface is facing the light source. Rugged surface should be not kept facing the light source. So we have to take this care. And as you can see in the next diagram, always there are a pair of cuvette because the sample cuvette and reference cuvette, they should be of exactly same dimensions and same path length. No slight variation is also allowed. So cuvette are always available in the form of pair and they have to be handled very carefully also as they are fragile. So you can see there are special cases to keep the cuvette such that the cuvettes won't get damaged. So next component is detector. They are generally photocells. Next is amplifier. The alternating current generated in the photocells is transferred to the amplifier. Amplifier will increase the response of the current so that it will be easier to measure the readings. Recording devices are there. They are coupled to the pen recorder which is connected to the computer. So with the help of computer, it becomes easy to analyze the data and to store the data. So let us see some of the applications of UV. It is used for detection of impurities present in the API or dosage forms. Then structure elucidation of organic compounds. It is also used for quantitative determination of the compounds that absorb UV radiation. So quantitative analysis can be done. Also qualitative analysis can be done. UV absorption spectroscopy can characterize those type of compound which absorb UV radiation and thus used in qualitative determination of compounds. Also they are used to detect the presence or absence of functional group in the compound. One of the important application is to perform the assay, that is to find out percentage purity. Drugs are either in the form of raw material or in the form of formulation. So percentage purity in API as well as in the formulation can be done can be found out with the help of UV spectroscopy. For this, we need to make a suitable solution of the drug, suitable concentration of the drug in the solvent, and measure the absorbance at the specific wavelength. So coming on to the actual practical, aim of the practical is to determine the concentration of paracetamol and ibuprofen in an unknown mixture by using simultaneous equation method. So what are the requirements? Chemical we will require are paracetamol, ibuprofen, NaOH, distilled water. Apparatus we will require pipettes, beakers, volumetric flasks, test tubes, rubber bulb, spatula, butter paper, Whatman filter paper. Now in UV spectroscopy always Whatman filter papers should be used. Instrument obviously UV visible spectrophotometer. So the make and model of our instrument is Shimadzu UV 1800. So let us see the monograph of paracetamol and ibuprofen. So synonym for paracetamol is acetaminophen. Its category is analgesic and antipyretic. Analgesic, that is, it acts as the painkiller, and antipyretic to reduce the fever. So you can see the molecular structure of paracetamol. It is freely soluble in ethanol and in acetone, sparingly soluble in water, and very slightly soluble in dichloromethane and ether. Ibuprofen, it is used as analgesic and anti-inflammatory, that is, to get rid of inflammation. So you can see here the structure of ibuprofen. It is freely soluble in ethanol, acetone, chloroform, ether, and practically insoluble in water. So let us see the principle of simultaneous equation. Now suppose our sample contains the two drugs, say for example X and Y, each of which absorbs at the lambda max of the other. It may be possible to determine both the drugs by simultaneous equation method. So lambda max is the wavelength at which the drug shows maximum absorbance. So both of these drugs, they must be able to absorb at the lambda max of other. So how to construct the simultaneous equation? So for this we require absorptivities of drug X at wavelength 1 and 2, which will be denoted as AX1 and AX2 respectively. So absorptivity is absorbance of the drug divided by its concentration. Then we will require absorptivities of drug Y, that is second drug, again at lambda 1 and lambda 2, that is at wavelength 1 and wavelength 2, which will be denoted by AY1 and AY2. The absorbance of the sample at lambda 1 and lambda 2 at wavelength 1 and wavelength 2, which will be denoted by A1 and A2 respectively. Suppose Cx and Cy are the concentration of the drugs X and Y in diluted sample. So two equations are constructed based on the fact that at lambda 1 and lambda 2, the absorbance of mixture is the sum of individual absorbances of X and Y. So let us see the equation. At wavelength 1, A1, that is absorbance of the sample at wavelength 1, is equal to AX1. AX1 is the absorptivity of the drug X at wavelength 1 into B into Cx, where B is the path length of the cell and Cx is the concentration of drug X, plus AY1, where AY1 is the absorptivity of drug 2 at wavelength 1 into path length into concentration of second drug. Similarly, we can write the equation at wavelength 2. A2 is equal to AX2 into B into Cx plus AY1 into AY2 into B into Cy. So here you can see That B, it represents path length. So path length of generally the sample cell is 1 centimeter. So we can substitute B with 1. On rearranging the equation 2, we get Cy, that is concentration of the drug Y, second drug, is equal to A2 minus AX2 into Cx divided by AY2. On substituting the value of Cy in the equation 1 and on rearranging, we get Cx is equal to A2 into AY1, that is absorbance at wavelength 2 into absorptivity of drug Y at wavelength 1 minus absorbance of the sample at wavelength 1 into AY2, that is absorptivity of drug Y at wavelength 2 divided by absorptivity of drug X at wavelength 2 into absorptivity of drug Y at wavelength 1 minus absorptivity of the drug X at wavelength 1 into absorptivity of drug Y at wavelength 2. Similarly, we can rearrange for Cy. So you can see the formula of Cx and Cy. So concentration of Cx and Cy can be determined from the equations 3 and 4. So now let us see the procedure. First is selection of the solvent. So we need to select the solvent in which both the drugs are soluble. So ibuprofen and paracetamol, they both were soluble in 0.1 normal sodium hydroxide and also the solutions were stable. Hence 0.1 normal NaOH is selected as the solvent. Next step is preparation of standard stock. So we have to weigh an amount equivalent to 10 mg reference standard of paracetamol and 100 mg of ibuprofen and transfer them into the two separate 100 ml volumetric flasks. Dissolve them in 0.1 normal NaOH by vigorous shaking and then make up 200 ml. So this will give the standard stock solutions of concentrations 100 microgram per ml of paracetamol and 1000 microgram per ml of ibuprofen. So further dilutions we will do from this stock solutions. Then we have to select the analytical wavelength, that is the wavelength at which both the drugs have to be determined. So for that we will need to prepare 20 microgram per ml solution of paracetamol and 100 microgram per ml of ibuprofen. So this will be known as our working standards. They have to be prepared from stock solution. Then we have to scan both the solutions in the spectrum mode from 400 nanometer to 200 nanometer. From the graph we can determine the lambda max of both the drugs, that is the wavelength at which drug shows maximum absorbance. We have to record the absorbance of both the drugs and sample mixture at both the wavelengths. So now let us see how to proceed for the practical.
Hello students, the practical which we are going to see is simultaneous estimation of paracetamol and ibuprofen with the help of UV spectrophotometer. So first of all, let us see the instrument, our UV spectrophotometer. So this is the spectrophotometer. You can see the company is Shimadzu and the make and model is UV 1800. So this is the window which shows output and this is the control panel. Now most important thing of this instrument, the sample holders. First we will see about sample holders. So these are cuvettes. Sample holder are known as cuvettes. So as you can see, two surfaces are rugged. They are meant to handle the cuvette because UV is very sensitive. So even if there are fingerprints on this side, it will cause interference. So this side is made up of quartz. Now quartz material is used as it is transparent to the UV radiations. So this is the chamber in which we place the cuvettes. Now here you can see the cuvette holders. So there are two cuvettes. One is for sample and another one is to hold the standard, to make baseline correction, or that is to nullify the effects of solvent. So we have to keep the cuvette in this manner because light source is from this direction. So rug surface is kept facing the analyst and quartz is kept at this side. Okay, so this is how we have to keep the cuvettes. They are very fragile and hence to be handled very carefully. So now let us see the control panel and the window. So as you can see here, user and password. Now we haven't assigned any password, so we will press directly enter. Here you can see the various modes like photometric, spectrum, quantitation, kinetics, time scan, multi-component, biomethod and utilities. So we are concerned with first two modes, that is photometric and spectrum. So what happens in first mode? We have to press 1, again 1 for photometric. So here you can simply enter your lambda max, and at that wavelength you can measure the absorbance and you can note down. Here there are other various parameters like sample, compartment, then measuring scan, then saving the parameter. Next we have to press return to enter into the next mode. So next mode is spectrum. So you have to enter 2. See here you can see the scan range, then recording range, scan speed. It can be set as fast, medium or slow, and various others parameter. Here you can see baseline correction. It is important to nullify the effects of the solvent. So in today's practical, what we are going to do is, we are having two drugs, paracetamol and ibuprofen. So first we will measure the spectrum, or we will scan the spectrum of paracetamol by this mode. Now with the use of spectrum, we can determine the maximum wavelength or lambda max, that is the wavelength at which paracetamol drug shows maximum absorbance. So we will note this wavelength as well as the absorbance at this wavelength. Our second drug is ibuprofen. So again we will scan the spectrum of ibuprofen. We will study its graph and we will find out the wavelength at which ibuprofen shows maximum absorbance. Again we will note this wavelength and the absorbance at this wavelength. Now next thing we are going to do is, we are going to take the absorbance of our sample mixture. That is, the mixture contains both ibuprofen and paracetamol. So we are going to note down the absorbance of ibuprofen and paracetamol at both these wavelengths, and then with the help of various equations we can find out the concentration of ibuprofen and paracetamol in our unknown sample mixture. So now let's proceed for the practical part. So now we will see the sample preparation. So first we are going to prepare the sample of paracetamol. So this is the weighing balance. Now here you can see the button of tare, or you can say auto 0. So by pressing this button, the weight of butter paper will also get nullified. Now we have to prepare 1000 microgram per ml of stock solution of paracetamol in 0.1 molar NaOH. So for this we will measure 0.1 gram of the paracetamol. So here you can see the weight is exactly 0.1 gram. So we have kept the flask ready. So we will take this and we will transfer it into the conical flask. Sorry, not conical flask, your volumetric flask. So we have transferred this. Now we will make up the volume to 100 ml. Here you can see the mark with NaOH. So this will be our stock solution of 1000 microgram per ml of paracetamol. So now we have 0.1 molar NaOH ready with us. So we will transfer it into our volumetric flask from the sides. We will dissolve some paracetamol. Now we will add further NaOH from the sides, and so we will add NaOH portion by portion, and we have to shake for 15 minutes so that paracetamol will get dissolved fully. So now our 1000 microgram per ml standard solution of paracetamol is ready. You can see we have diluted up to the mark. So this is known as stock solution. Now next we are going to make 100 microgram per ml from this 1000 microgram per ml. So for this I will now withdraw 10 ml of the stock solution. So you can see I will transfer it into the other flask. Now we will make up the volume up to 100 ml with distilled water. We will shake. To prepare uniform solution, we have to shake. Now, final dilution we will do with the help of pipette. So for that I am washing my pipette. This is the waste beaker. So we will take some amount of water in the pipette. Now as we are doing a quantitative practical, so dilutions are very important. So you can see it is exactly up to the mark. Now this is our stock solution of 100 microgram per ml. From this we are going to now prepare the solution of 20 microgram per ml. So the pipette already contains distilled water. Now we will, for uniform mixing, we will tilt the flask. Now from this we are going to withdraw 20 ml. This is first 10 ml. Again next 10 ml. Always suck the solution with help of the rubber bulb and not by mouth, because we are dealing with chemicals and solvents. So again, so total we have transferred 20 ml. So again we will make up the volume to the mark with distilled water, which will give us the resulting solution 20 microgram per ml. So for uniform solution we have to shake from time to time. Okay. Now similarly we are going to prepare our solution of ibuprofen by weighing powder of ibuprofen, and the final concentration of ibuprofen we will maintain is 200 microgram per ml. So we have prepared our standard solutions of paracetamol and ibuprofen. I have taken them in the beakers. So first we will record the spectrum of paracetamol and then ibuprofen. As our solvent is NaOH, so we will rinse the cuvettes. They have been washed by distilled water already. We will rinse the cuvettes with our solvent, that was NaOH. This is the waste beaker. Now before scanning the spectrum, we have to do baseline correction to remove the effect of solvents. So in both the cuvettes I am going to take NaOH. So always handle the cuvettes with rugged surface. Wipe with the help of the smooth tissue paper. So this is our cuvette holders. So here we are keeping our solvent. Again in the second one, else we are proceeding for baseline correction. We have already rinsed with NaOH. So in second also we are going to fill NaOH. Wipe it. We have placed. So now we will enter the spectrum mode. First we have to do baseline correction. So press here baseline correction. You can see the various parameters. Scan range is 200 to 400 nanometer. And scan speed fast. So you can see here baseline correction going on. So baseline correction is being done. Now we will fill one of the cuvette with the paracetamol standard and we will take the spectra. So this is our waste. This is our paracetamol. Rinse it with the paracetamol standard solution. Fill the cuvette. Wipe it with the soft tissue paper. So now we will start our measurement. So we have to press start. You can see the wavelength is changing here. It is scanning from 400 to 200 nanometer. So you can see the graph of paracetamol in NaOH. So the lambda max is found to be 257.9 nanometer. So now we have discarded paracetamol and we have taken ibuprofen standard in this cuvette. So we will again now start the spectrum. So we will press enter. Sorry, we will now. So you can see here scanning is being done from 400 nanometer to 200 nanometer. So you can see the generation of graph. So this is the spectrum for ibuprofen. So we will save the curve. Name we are going to give is IBU for ibuprofen. So enter, then we will go to B. Again press enter and then we will go to U. Enter. So here you can see IBU and we will enter save built-in memory. Okay. So now we are going to click on data processing. Again we will click on 3 because we want the peak. So here you can see lambda and absorbance. So from here you can see various points at which ibuprofen shows absorbance. So you can see at 264.10 nanometer it is showing maximum absorbance, that is 0.560. So we have to note down the lambda max as well as absorbance because it will be helpful in calculating the absorptivity. Now we are going to do the sample analysis. So for that we are going to go in the photometric mode. We are going to note down the absorbance at both the wavelength, but before that we will do auto zero to nullify the effect of solvent. So in both the cuvettes I have filled NaOH solution. So now we will press auto zero. Length was 257.9 nanometer. So we will do auto zero at this wavelength. So you can see absorbance is 0. Now we will take sample. So we will discard this NaOH into the waste beaker. Now we will press the start button. So you can see absorb. Now we will measure the absorbance of sample at another wavelength, our second wavelength. So we will again have to do auto zero by placing the NaOH. We will go to return. Our second wavelength was 264.10 nanometer. We will go to wavelength. First we will so next wavelength is 264.10 nanometer. So you can see here. Now we will proceed for auto zero. you can see absorbance 0. So the solvent effect will get nullified. Now in one of the cuvette we are going to fill our sample. The sample has mixture of paracetamol and ibuprofen. So again we will press. So you can see the absorbance at 257.9 nanometer is 0.532. So now next wavelength is 264.10. So again at that wavelength we have to do auto zero. So I am rinsing the cuvette again with NaOH. So now we will go to wavelength 264.10. Now we will do auto zero. So auto zero is done. Now we will go for the sample solution. So now we are taking our sample. We will rinse the cuvette once. So you can see the absorbance at 264.1 nanometer.
So as we have seen, lambda 1 is 264.10 nanometer and wavelength 2 is 257.90 nanometer. So wavelength 1 is the absorption maxima of ibuprofen, that is it shows maximum absorbance at 264.10 nanometer, whereas wavelength 2 it is the lambda max of paracetamol. So let us see how to construct the observation table. So we have to write the drugs and then absorbance at both the wavelength. In the last column you can see for absorptivities. So at first wavelength, that is 264.10 nanometer, ibuprofen showed absorbance 0.560, whereas paracetamol showed 0.190 and the mixture showed absorbance 0.515 at this wavelength. So this we will denote by A1. At wavelength 2, that is 257.90 nanometer, ibuprofen showed absorbance 0.462, paracetamol shows 0.210 and the mixture showed 0.533. This we will denote by A2. So we will calculate absorptivities, that is AX1 of ibuprofen at lambda 1 and AX2 at lambda 2. So absorptivity we can calculate by the formula absorbance divided by the concentration. So 0.560 divided by 200 microgram per ml. This we will get absorptivity of ibuprofen at wavelength 1. Similarly, we can calculate absorptivity at wavelength 2. Also in the same manner we will calculate for paracetamol. The concentration of paracetamol was 20 microgram per ml. So absorptivity will be at wavelength 1 will be 0.190 divided by 20, which comes out to be 0.0105. And A by 2 comes out to be 0.0095, that is 0.210 divided by 20. So A1 and A2 are 0.515 and 0.533. So we have already seen in the principle how to construct the equation. So final equation was Cx is equal to A2ay1 minus A1ay2 divided by Ax2ay1 minus Ax1ay2. So this represents the concentration of ibuprofen. X represents concentration of ibuprofen and Y represents the concentration of paracetamol. So keep the values of A1, A2, AX1 and AX2 as well as AY1 and AY2 in the above formulas. So on keeping these values, we get concentration of ibuprofen in the unknown solution to be 350 microgram per ml, whereas paracetamol 15 microgram per ml. So now let us see some of the questions for synopsis. What is Beer's law? When a monochromatic light passes through an absorbing medium, its intensity decreases exponentially as the concentration of absorbing medium increases. So the absorbed intensity is directly proportional to the concentration of the absorbing species. What is Lambert's law? When a ray of monochromatic light passes through an absorbing medium, its intensity decreases exponentially as the length of absorbing medium increases. That is, higher the path length, higher will be the absorption. What is UV range? So, UV range is 200 to 400 nanometer. What is bathochromic shift? Change of spectral band position in the spectrum of a molecule to a lower wavelength is known as bathochromic shift. Often it is referred as red shift. Why the sample cells made up of glass cannot be used for UV region? So we have already seen that glass does not allow the UV rays to pass through it. So we use the sample cells made up of quartz or silica. Cuvettes for UV are made up of which material? We have already seen, made up of quartz or silica. So what is more superior, prism or grating monochromator? So grating monochromators are superior as compared to prism. Now prisms can spread the light spectra into many colors for analysis. Now, diffraction grating is less sensitive to the color of the light and can be made to spread colors over a larger angle than a prism. So, they are more superior as compared to prisms because here the colors spread over a larger angle as compared to that of prism. What is electromagnetic spectrum? The electromagnetic spectrum is the range of frequencies of electromagnetic radiation and their respective wavelengths and photon energies. So let us see the various radiations. So as you can see, gamma rays, X-rays, then UV rays, infrared rays, radar rays, then frequency in megahertz, that is which is used for FM, then rays used for your television, then short wave. So you can see the range of the wavelengths. Visible region is from 400 to 800 nanometer. It lies between the UV region and infrared region. Thank you.